Thank you, Mr. Miata. That's nice. I'm starting to pass people now. Well, it was only a Miata.
Welcome to Translogic, I'm Jonathan Buckley. Ever since pole position arrived in the early 80s, racing games have been a major part of the video game industry. With games like Forza Motorsport or Gran Turismo, people can really get a sense of what it's like to tear it up at the track from home. But the team at CXC Simulations think they've truly got something that can leave those games in the dust. For a price, that is. So I'm here with the founder and president of CXC Simulations, Chris Considine. You guys look like you're pretty busy. You've got quite a few simulators on the production line.
That's right, yeah. We build probably the most advanced simulators in the world now.
Of course, we're talking about the Motion Pro II, which has been getting a lot of attention. It is being used by not only your typical racers, but also consumers just for fun. I mean, it's got a pretty broad spectrum when it comes to uses.
We designed it originally as a professional training tool for race car drivers. So everything along the design line was make it authentic, make it real, make it a really good training tool. We have thousands of car and track models. So we can start you off at a street car and work you all the way up to Formula One. And in between we can go off-road, rally, anything you like. As long as it's got 4 wheels, we probably have it in our catalog.
Obviously, there's some great systems on the market already from your regular home consoles, you know, your Xbox or your PlayStation. The Motion Pro II takes it to a whole other level, doesn't it?
Exactly, and for us, it's all about the feel. For a race car driver, you feel something before you see it, and you react and make a controlling decision based on that feeling. We built the whole system around how it feels first, then visual reference, so big, wide, immersive screen, so you actually have to turn your head. And then it's all the authentic bits and pieces, like the steering wheel and the right shifter paddles. We agonize over the tiniest details to make sure that everything fits, feels exactly like it would in the race car. And then beyond that, we have really advanced simulation training software that is hyper accurate. Our track models are millimeter perfect.
What is the software that you're using?
Today we're going to be using a software called iRacing.
Yep.
You can race against the clock, you can race against the computer, you can race against multiple simulators next to each other in the same room, or online with a huge racing community.
When it comes to the hardware on the simulator, it looks super robust. Is this the kind of thing that can last for years and years and years?
Yeah, when we designed it, we reached for the same materials that you would use in a race car for good reason. One, because it needs to feel and behave exactly like a race car, but two, because we want it to last forever. The steering wheel and the pedals and all those things need to be identical to the one that you're using in the real car. So racing teams find that very, very important.
Well, we did a track day in the M4 out at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana.
Well, here we are. So this is my very first time out on this track. I'm just sort of lining up in pit lane right now, and they gave us an M4. 3-litre, twin-turbo V6, 7-speed, dual-clutch transmission. It's an auto transmission, but you can do the paddle shifters. Oh, and the jitters are gone. Now it's just game time. What a track. So this track's usually used for NASCAR racing. So you've got this massive bank, which you're just gonna be absolutely flying around. This is a good chance to get a feel for the car as well. We've got 425 horsepower in this puppy, 408 pound-feet of torque. Okay, main straight, and I think it's go time. Okay, that's fast. 140 through there, and brake. Ooh. All right, got a couple of the fast guys coming by now. Hold it. Oh, it's a drag race. I gotta go around you, buddy. Sorry, buddy. You probably don't like it. Thank you. I'm very curious now to see what my lap time is.
Would it be possible, or is it possible after using the Motion Pro II that I could see a drop in those lap times, do you think?
Oh, definitely. It's all seat time, and I can give you infinite seat time. And we can work on some advanced techniques as well. So today we're going to be driving a Mazda MX5 Cup car. We'll go from there, we'll have a debrief after that, and we'll talk about the session, about the things that you want to work through.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. I can't wait to see the track in digital HD. Oh, wow. Oh. I like the way it vibrates and rumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can feel the gear shift as well.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed so far. Like the sound of the car, the seats wobbling around. It looks exactly like we had the other day.
Sighting the exit, 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 exit. Harder, harder, harder. One more here.
Oh, a little moment.
Now we're starting to think about straightening out for a breakpoint here, carry speed. Our haptic feedback is physical feedback of any form, right? The most visual one is the motion system. You can see that on the back of the seat and is actually moving you around.
Yep.
We then have a seatbelt tensioner system that will compress the seatbelts under braking. So if you're braking very hard, you can actually feel yourself being pulled
like you're being
backwards.
pulled forward in your seat when you're hard on the brakes.
Yes, exactly,
wow.
yeah.
Third?
Yeah. There you go. That's a good joining space right there.
Yeah. I feel like more and more as time goes by, racing teams are starting to see the value of simulators. A lot of guys, because tracks are situated all over the world, you don't get the chance to just pop down there and do a few sighting laps.
See how much earlier you can get them throttle?
Yeah, it's nice. I love the way it just slips just a little bit too.
Yep, exactly.
Who would have thought a Mazda Miata could have been so much fun?
These days, simulation is a must-have. Time equals money on the racetrack. The first car they'll get into is a junior formula car. That's almost $11,000 a day to test. And for that, you get maybe an hour of track time.
Hey.
So we're a little aggressive on the turn-in.
Oh! When you put it into that perspective, the price of the Motion Pro II starts to sound a lot more reasonable because it isn't cheap. I mean, base model is around about 50,000 going all the way up to, is it 80,000?
It can go infinitely because we can custom design anything a customer wants. If you wanted to go do 3 race weekends in an M4 or maybe a racing variant of it, you would be consuming, assuming it didn't hit anything, you would have to travel to the racetrack and all those consumables that you go through, right? Start adding that up over many race weekends and you start to realize that that car is actually much more expensive than the simulator after about a couple months. Got on the throttle just a little too early and missed the apex simultaneous.
Hey, put on a show for the fans. Well, I've completed my first session in the Motion Pro II. I wasn't sure at first going into it. I thought, well, this would be a great tool for learning the track or learning which way the track goes and turns. But it's so much more than that. It's your braking markers, it's finding your apexes. Like, I was so immersed into it. It took as much concentration as I feel it did the day that I was out there doing the real thing. Well, we are going to go back to the track. We're going to go in the M4. Unfortunately, I crashed the Miata in the simulation. Let's hope that doesn't happen on the day in the M4.
Back at the track, and exactly the same car. 2015 BMW M4. Only real difference is this car's yellowy green instead of the black, and I've spent a few hours and maybe 100, 150 laps in a simulator trying to figure out the lay of the land here, and yeah, getting pretty excited to hit the track again. Well, here goes nothing. All right, here we go. So, first lap with a bit of speed on. Tires feel good. Well, that's a big difference. I'm already passing people. Man, this is such a difference from when the first time I came out. My confidence levels alone are just so much higher. There's my braking marker, the dark blue wall on the right-hand side, exactly as it was in the simulator. This is my problem point in the simulator. After we go through the chicane here, which is normally flat out, we come up to turn 9. It's wide with a late apex. And I kept messing it up and messing it up. So we touched the apex just on the outside right there. which sets us up for a good push off down the straightaway. Okay, that's remarkable. When you come out of that final turn onto the straightaway and you hit the bank, it feels exactly like it does in the simulator. It's just this little jolt, front wheel, back wheel jolt that you get. I spent a lot of time with Chris and on the simulator working on my throttle control around here and not just stomping on it and just feathering the throttle, and that's what's making a difference, because you can switch off all of these systems now and really get full acceleration as you come out of the turns, and it's bloody awesome. Well, I don't know if I'm faster. I felt quick.
Well, let's get right to it. After our first day at the track, the best time I could squeeze out was a 1:59.9. Today, on my first flying lap, I've managed a 1:57.6. That's over 2 seconds faster. Now, I attribute that directly to the Motion Pro II. And while it's pricey, in the racing world, where every second counts, that's just a drop in the bucket. And it's almost as much fun as the real thing. For Translogic, I'm Jonathan Buckley. I'll catch you next time.